Hey, what's going on everybody? E back with another action figure review, and today we are looking at the Hasbro Marvel Legends What If series. This is based off the Disney Plus show, so technically this is series 2 of Disney Plus. And this one is the Watcher Build-A-Figure wave, and we're looking at Heist Nebula. So this is the final figure of the wave. I have reviewed everybody in this wave, so if you're interested in seeing any of those reviews, I do recommend you guys check them out, so please do. I always appreciate the support to anything in this channel. Just wanted to make sure you guys knew that. So let's go ahead and carry right along. The side image to the figure is a still image from the show of Nebula, and then we get that same image on the back here, and then we get the rest of the wave lined up. So every figure here you see, or every character you see, I have reviewed in figure form, except for the Watcher. That's going to be coming up next after Nebula, so stay tuned for that. The read up at the top right reads, "Tech savvy and brave, Nebula is an intergalactic opportunist who is ready for adventure." A totally different Nebula than the one we all know from our timeline of the MCU. So here we have Heist Nebula, and this episode has already aired. I won't say spoilers about it, but she appears in the T'Challa episode, obviously. So it's nice to have another member of that team or that episode in action figure form. I did mention in the T'Challa Star-Lord figure review that I hope we get everybody that appears in that show. You know, the Ravagers, I'll say that. That would be really, really cool. Anyways, let's move right along to the accessories that come with Nebula. We have an alternate set of hands. So as you see on the figure right now, looks like we get an open hand for the right hand and another open hand for the left hand, but slightly different. So you see this one's a trigger finger, so that's to grab a weapon, and then this is just opened. So alternatively, we have a left fist and then a right trigger finger. So if you want the gun in the right hand instead, you got this. If you want it on the left, then you got it on the figure right now. And then just one fist. And then lastly for Nebula, we get her gun that she holds with this hand. Let's see how she grips it. Pretty good. It's very futuristic, alien-ish gun here. I don't think we've seen this sculpt before for a weapon. So this might be a first, unless I'm missing a figure that this came with. And that's it for Nebula. That's all that she comes with for herself, but she does come with the biggest piece of the Build-A-Figure and the most pieces as well. So she comes with the bottom portion of the robe from the Watcher. So as you can see, it's just hollow there. And then she also comes with the torso and the lower torso and the I guess the collar of the robe, I would say. This will go to, or this attaches to the back. And of course he would be having a head once we attach it, but this is like the little back piece to the robe. So she comes, like I mentioned, with the most pieces. I guess you would slide the lower torso into here. And then that attaches right here to the upper torso. So she essentially comes with the entire torso slash robe. And then the back piece gets attached right there. So there you have it. Pretty big piece for Watcher in this one release and this one figure here. Alright, so here is our close look at our new Nebula from this reality or this universe of What If. And she has a full head of hair, and her face is very different too. She doesn't have any of those mechanical robotic pieces on her head. She's one whole person now. No robotic body parts at all. Looking at the back here, I do like the paint job on the hair. Sculpt on the figure itself, I think it's brand new, I would assume, since it's for this particular version of Nebula. Going down to the boots. Got a little holster there for her gun that she does come with, so let's see if that fits in. And it does, so check that out. Blends in, it's the same color as the holster. And that's it. So we see that the legs are pinned though, so I don't know, maybe it is reused from a previous Nebula or previous figure, because it's definitely not one of their newer ones since it is pinned, and we only get a single jointed elbow, so no double jointed pinless elbows either. So let's move right into articulation. We have the head that sits on a, I don't know what it sits on, to be honest. Oh, it's a barbell peg. Yep, so it's a barbell peg, but her hair it's going to hinder a lot of movement. Now she can still move left and right. Looking up is not going to happen, and looking down is going to be very, very minimal. So a lot of hindering at the head. It's to be expected with a hair piece like this for sure. The arms are going to go all the way up, and they go down, in and out. No bicep swivel, only a single jointed elbow that bends at a 90 degree, and it swivels there as well. We got a hinge at the wrist with a swivel, and then we get a diaphragm joint that rotates all the way around, goes forward and back, side to side. Leg will kick forward, it goes back down. We go in and out. We have a thigh swivel, and we have double jointed knees. Ankle hinge going forward and back, and then the ankle rocker. So no boot cut and no ankle swivel. Classic Star-Lord. Alright, so first up in our comparison section of the video, of course I'm going to bring in T'Challa, Star-Lord. And this looks very good and makes me want to have all of the Ravagers like I mentioned before. God, it would be so dope if we can get all the Ravagers from that What If episode. I think Hasbro can make it happen. Let's do it. Let's rally up and ask for it in honor of T'Challa, in honor of Chadwick. I think we can get it done. But yeah, they look great together, definitely. You can see T'Challa does stand a little taller than Nebula. Up next, we have Zombie Captain America. I'm just going to compare her next to her wave mates here. And he does stand a little bit taller than her. And here we have our zombie hunting Spidey. Here she is next to Sylvie, which isn't from What If, but she is part of this wave from the Loki Disney Plus series. Up next, we have Doctor Strange Supreme. And last but not least, we have our almighty Captain Carter. And that's going to wrap things up for this review. You may have noticed I didn't pose her next to the regular Nebula from our regular timeline. I don't have the figure anymore, so I don't know if you've been keeping up with my What If videos, but it's heavily MCU related. So I did mention several times that I did at one point a couple years ago narrowed down my collection, and that meant getting rid of most of my MCU figures. I have a lot still, and I'm trying to slowly build some of it back up, but I decided to strictly stick to comic-based figures first, and then MCU figures second. So that's why I'm shorted by a lot of these characters that I wish I still owned for the sake of this comparison, you know? So I apologize for that, but I'm sure that my friend MCU Collector will have that comparison for you. So I do recommend you guys check out his review on this Nebula and all of these What If figures as well. That is the beauty of YouTube and the toy community, that we have a number of reviewers reviewing the same thing, all with different opinions and thoughts. So with that said, I'm going to wrap things up on this video before I ramble on too long. I just want to say this is definitely the weakest figure of the wave. Not to say it's bad, but it's the weakest one if I had to say or choose a weakest one out of the whole batch. So I do wish that the hair didn't get too much in the way. I know I wouldn't want to sacrifice sculpt and likeness for it, so I do get it and understand it, but it does suck. It's a little bit of a bummer that I can't really pose her head too much, you know, just to get a regular pose like this. I feel like this is too stiff and ugly to me, but I can't get the head right, you know. But anyways, that's going to do it. Hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a like, comment, subscribe. Stay tuned for the Watcher Build-A-Figure review. Finally, we get to see Uatu the Watcher. So let's see how that figure stacks up in my next video, or in my next upcoming video soon. I don't know how I'm ordering these. Alright guys, you know the drill. Take care, take it easy, and have a great day. Bye.
That's crispy.